Okay, yesterday I had the coolest class in the whole world with one of my favorite teachers, Jin C from Jin C Productions. And she taught me some really cool FX stuff that I want to show you guys. A demonstration how to do like a really gross pencil to the head thing. And while it might not appeal to everyone, my cool friend Hayden here, my little brother, told me that he'd be my model, and I'm excited about that. So the products I'm going to be using today are these. First, this is synthetic wax by Miron. And basically what it is like a molding wax. And it's sticky, so I'm going to show you some tips and tricks that she taught me. I am so very excited about this. So I'm just want to make her proud. So I hope Jinsey you're watching. I'm also going to be using a stipple sponge. I'm going to be using some Vaseline. I'm going to be using a bruise wheel by Miron as well. And I'm going to be using some blood. So, the first thing to do to get started, remember when working with this wax, it's really sticky. So I'm just going to add a little bit of Vaseline to my hands just to help it so that it doesn't totally stick to my hands, because it does. Then I'm going to use a spoon and I'm going to scoop out like a pretty good chunk. And because I'm going to be using a pencil to the head technique, you want to make sure that the body of it is thick enough in order to stick the pencil on the head without it actually hurting your model. Would you be mad if I really hurt you?
Maybe a little bit.
Just a little? You wouldn't be my brother anymore? Okay, so the next thing you want to do is take this chunk of wax, and you just want to roll it in your hands. So you want to get it in pretty much like a good ball. And again, it's sticky. It can be a little bit hard to work with. So you want to make sure that you're using it on older people like him, like super old. So because I am going to be spreading it out on his face, it can be a little bit tough. So using it on little kids, not so recommended. Okay, clean his skin first with alcohol, but because I'm trying to keep it under 10 minutes, I'm not going to. So I'm going to put it right on his head, just like slap it on. No, I'm just playing. So I'm going to put it on his head, and I'm going to start spreading it out. Tell me if I'm hurting you. Okay, so I'm just spreading it out along the edges. And I want to get it in his hair so that it never comes out. No, I'm just playing. So again, I'm trying to keep the center thicker because when you keep the center thicker, that's where I'm just going to stick the pencil into. So again, I'm just spreading it out. And this is the part that can be a bit uncomfortable for younger kids, which is why I don't typically recommend it. This is a little bit harder to work with, so you know, that's why I say know who you're putting it on first. Okay. So I spread out the edges. Now what you want to do to get it like actually realistic looking is you just want to keep on working it, and you want to get those edges as smooth as possible, especially when using this wax. So what I'm going to do again is just take some more Vaseline on my fingers and use them to really spread it out and work out that wax along the edges. You're going to have to take a shower, okay? So I'm just going to be spreading the edges. That helps it become a little bit more pliable. Don't worry, you don't need your hair. Maybe you want to be using a hairnet if you're going to be doing something like this on your model. So I'm just spreading it out, making it look even so that you don't have to do so much work of blending it later. So, and it'll stick directly to the skin. You won't need any spirit gum or anything like that. This wax will. So I'm just spreading it. I want to make it nice and smooth on the skin. As if you're not greasy enough right now, I'm going to keep on going. You can just take this little bit of extra wax right here, peeling it off, still spreading it. Trying not to pop his eye out of the socket. So the next step is definitely optional. I mean, you can choose to cover it up with basically nothing or just put a lot of blood, then you wouldn't have to go in with a flesh-based or a flesh-colored paint. But first, what you'll want to do so that your paint stays nicely is add a little bit of setting powder right on top of it. So I'm just going to be patting that on there, just right on top of it, to set it so that the paint will stick nicely to it. I'm just going to add this foundation base right over it. That way it'll help me have that flesh tone automatically. Okay, so now that I just added a little bit of base color, the next thing you're going to do is get your Pro Ring out. And what this is a grease-based palette. What it's made to do is have these bruise colors that allow you to create realistic looking burns and bruises. So I'm going to start off by using, and I do it with my finger. You can apply it with a makeup wedge. Why not use your fingers? They're free. So I'm going to start off with this mustard color, and that helps it appear a little bit pussy. So I'm just going to kind of dab it in around my wound very gently, just kind of pressing it right on there. Next, I'm going to go in with my reddish color, and I'm going to mix it with a darker red. And remember, a wound is darkest at the center, so I'm going to just add a little bit right in the middle where I'm going to stick the pencil, and then I'm going to work a little bit more and just go right over it around the edge of this. So with your finger, you're able to achieve a nice blend. Then what I'm going to do is just keep on blending it in, right in here, until you're comfortable with how it looks. Okay. The next thing I'm going to do is take just a regular paintbrush, and I'm just going to kind of stick it around and make these craters. And this is just an optional step. Then I'm going to use the tip of my paintbrush just to kind of fill in there. And I'm going to take a broken pencil, and you want to make sure it's not too long. This one might even be a little too long, but he broke it and he didn't do a good job. So if it hurts him, that's his own problem. And I'm just going to stick it right in the middle. Tell me when I hit your real head.
Yeah, you hit my real head.
Okay, so I hit his real head. And again, I'm going to go just around the inside, right around the base. I'm going to take it out. And inside here, I'm going to fill in with the darkest color. Because again, you want at the center of the wound is always going to be the darkest. So I'm just adding it there, and then I'm going to take my finger again and just dab it gently around there so that I'm blending it out so that it's not as strong. Again, you don't want to keep it too black, but you do want that to be the darkest point. So I'm going to go back in with my red, blend it out, use some red to blend out these craters. You doing okay?
Mm-hmm.
You're not getting sick, are you?
No.
No, you sure?
Yeah.
Okay, so then I'm going to stick my pencil back in the hole. You're not dead, right? Not yet?